All right, we're rolling.
Alrighty, and we are in studio right now. We are back in the wonderful DeMarco Studios. We are sitting here with two of the members of The Strange Familiar. I'm joined with Matt and Freddie, as always. Kira, Jeff, why don't you guys introduce yourselves real quick so they know who they're listening to?
Right, yeah. Well, I'm Jeff Andre. No, I'm Kira, and this guy right here. You can't see him, but you can hear him. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jeff, guitarist for The Strange Familiar.
Yes, and I'm the singer.
And we're missing a drummer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no drummer. Drummer's not here. Nick, he lives in Boardman, and the bass player is still in LA. Frank Freeman, still out there.
He doesn't want to let it go.
See, I thought you guys were still just a three-piece.
No, we actually we are a four-piece. It's just like we get Frank home, rarely, but for the big shows. So he'll actually be home for our next show.
We've been doing a lot of acoustic stuff lately, and usually that just means our drummer comes and brings his little box.
Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of neat. I liked him.
Oh, yeah.
So I mentioned that to Freddie. He's like, oh, yeah, that's what is it, Kono?
It's a Kono.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loves that thing.
I think he broke it, though, at the show.
He did at that show.
It's getting
the
repaired
Musica?
for the next one.
Mm.
Yep, Musica.
Okay, so let's start off with, I know you guys have done other things. How long have you been The Strange Familiar?
It began in 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started this band then, and very shortly after that, we just started, trying every kind of music that we could think of, I don't know. We did everything. And then eventually we kind of, after we had written a handful of songs, we decided we wanted to go out to LA and find a producer to help us record, because we'd been to LA a few times before that, and our lawyer was out there, so we're like, all right, let's go there, and it's sunny, so.
That's got to help everything.
There's beaches, let's go.
And oceans and...
Yeah.
And then we never left for 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's
We
good.
stayed.
Stay out in the nice sunny beaches. And
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
No, it was cool. And then we just had Jeff, me, and our bass player when we first started. And then we didn't get our drummer Nick until 2 years ago or a year ago? Or It's recently. It feels like it was the last missing piece, and when we finally had the drummer, we were like, yes, we're a four-piece.
that's good.
So, yeah.
Got it.
So, what did you guys do before? There was another name of the band before, right?
Yeah, we were Jaded Era originally. Jeff and I, since I guess, grade school.
Mm-hmm.
And
Grade school.
Yeah.
Our first
Check yes or no? Is that what it is?
our first official gig was our 6th grade dance, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we played a bunch of covers, and they were horrible.
They were pretty bad, but
We had this group of kids on the side of the stage heckling us, too.
yeah, you gotta.
They got
deal
in trouble with
the
the teachers
hecklers.
afterwards because they were being mean to us.
That's always good. Hey, you at least tried. That's a pretty young age to try something like that.
Seriously.
It's cool, though.
So, and then what happened after that? We were in that band for 10 years, and then
Yeah, a little chunk of time.
it was a big chunk of time for us at that time. And
Most of our teen years.
yeah, and then we just we decided to do different things and do a totally different band, and it kind of was really hard to do that at first. It was just like we're so used to this one way of doing things, and then it was very freeing to try all sorts of different types of music and different ways of performing, and I started playing more piano at that time, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before the Strange Familiar sound that we have now, there was about 5 different versions of the Strange Familiar. That was way more strange than it is now.
Is that why it became Strange Familiar?
Yeah.
It's become less and less strange as we went.
So,
Yes.
when did the Strange Familiar actually develop? When did Jada Era fade out, and then Strange start? How did that work?
It was shortly after Ashley Simpson did our song Invisible, and it kind of we all got burnt out. We were doing it for 10 years at that point, and we just started trying new things and different things, and it just felt right. And I don't know.
I think like we wanted to go somewhere too, and I think like the other guys were not into leaving and moving, and we felt like we needed to do something to shake it up. And
yeah, we needed a big change or something.
And our bass player's band actually was ending at that time as well. Templeton Zeal, I don't know if you've heard of them, but they were like bluesy. I don't even know what you want to call it.
Blues rock thing.
Yeah, but rock, very rock, and their band was ending, and like we went to see them at a show, and the bass player, like Frank, came up to us. He was so into it. He's like, "Hey guys," and he knew who we were from stuff and from articles and things that he saw about us, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm game to start something new." And we're like, "Okay, well, so are we." So it just it was really good timing.
Wow.
For that, so it
It's
worked out.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you guys have two releases out right now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Right. 'Cause I see one's like a full length and one's an EP, or is that?
Yes, we released a full-length album called This Is Gravity in 2009, right? Like 3 days before we got married. That was a crazy week.
Congratulations, bro.
Hey, thanks.
There was a lot going on in June of 2009.
That was a big time, yeah. But and then we had that album released, and then we didn't do anything for a little while, and then we went and actually did a Kickstarter. What do you call those? Campaign,
Yes.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And our fans actually helped us raise money to record the next 6 songs that we
Oh, very
recorded.
cool.
Yeah, we were really thankful for that. It was really great, and then actually right after that happened, right before we released that EP. So we have physical copies of that, but we didn't technically release it, I guess, is what happened. Because before we were going to do that, put it up on iTunes and all that stuff, we signed with a label in New York. So, and they wanted to finish that as a full album, which we just recorded and just did.
So,
So,
full-length album coming out in March. This
yes.
Cool.
Oh, okay. So we're not referencing that tonight. We have these two here.
Right.
So there's a third one then.
Well, it'll
Well-
be a version of that new one, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Chasing Shadows is actually going to be the name of the album, and then those 6 songs are on that
I
album.
see. So this is like a prelude to that.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
Well, let's hear something right off the bat. Let's get the listening audience down on this. We have 2 albums. Why don't you pick one? We'll hear a few things tonight, but pick one from one of these albums. And
Sure.
Which would you like to start with?
Do you want to do the single? The Being Me single?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Let's
On
do
that one, yeah.
Being Me?
Yeah.
Is that it? All right,
Yep.
let's roll Being Me.
Cool.
Okay, so here we go. Strange Familiar, The Strange Familiar, Being Me.
I'm not a tough girl, never been much of a rough girl. I don't like to be mean, guess that's a Midwestern theme. Don't have a single tattoo, always got straight A's in school, and yeah, I sing in the choir. Never made a good liar, and I've been turned on by every big wig in town, but I'm not one to quit. The story ain't over yet. I'll never melt it like Janis Joplin, and I'll never kiss Katy Perry. I may never sing a duet with Gaga, and I'll never be as cool as the Black Keys.
some questions about that video, but
That was awesome, guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks.
Great pipes, great singer, great song, great guitar playing.
Cool,
Yeah,
thanks.
that's just awesome.
The drummer and the bassist sucked, but we
We
can throw that. We can talk bad about them. They're not here.
It's cool. It's cool.
No, it was really good. You guys
Thank
did
you. Thank you very
awesome.
much.
So, like, tell us a little bit about that. Then, how was that written and
Wow.
recorded? A little bit.
The song, I guess, started at kind of as a joke, really. We were just really frustrated about writing and just about music in general, and we just started, like, kind of having a nostalgic, remember what we used to listen to when we were kids kind of thing.
Let's put everything in this song that's, like, totally, like, I was like, I gotta think of everything that's totally not me, because I'm not any of these things, and I'm never gonna be like that. And I think, like, when we first, started in music, I think probably a lot of people, when they first started music, they're imitating other people, and they're trying to find their own way. And I think for me especially, like, I was definitely imitating, Gwen Stefani and Alanis Morissette when I first started, and trying to, I don't know. And then I went through this hard rock phase of, like, trying to be really badass, and I'm just not. I'm totally not like that.
Honestly, we were just talking about something very similar to that before you guys got here. Anthony is in a karaoke contest.
Yes.
And he's not the greatest singer, but he knows what he can sing. And Freddie said that's one of the hardest things that a band goes through, is figuring out what they can actually sing.
Right.
Very
You
true.
guys did it.
Very
Cool, thank
thanks.
you.
I remember, it's interesting because I remember hanging around. I moved back into town, and you guys were really happening around here with Jaded, and I'd see you down at Rockin' on the River. And I said, you guys you're real aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. It's great. And then we crossed paths again in the studio I was working at. I remember
Yeah.
doing that session there, and that was awesome. But that's great. And then, Jeff, tell us a little bit. That's you on all the guitars, right? You do your own overdubs on the electrics and the acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
When
awesome.
working with Brian Malouf, the producer in California, has been really great because he's really open to, like, hey, if you recorded a scratch in your apartment in Ohio and it sounds great, we'll fly it into the mix. Whatever, it's fine.
Oh,
There's
really?
no need to re-record it.
Very cool.
If the part's right, the part's right. So
But I remember the loop in that song. Like Brian mentioned, like we had to fly home actually for his grandpa's funeral. I remember, and it was like a big deal. We had to right in the middle of recording, and our drummer was out in L.A. He had flown out, and he was staying at our place, and he was like, "We're like, we gotta leave for a couple days." It was kind of important, but
Really rough.
and on the plane, I remember Brian had said, we need a loop in this song, something really like trashy, like I don't know what, something kind of crappy.
Something that sounds like
nothing
crap.
too good. So Jeff's like, all right. So he was on the plane.
I can do that, no problem.
On the plane back to LA, he's making this loop, and we brought it in, and like, I'm like, me and Nick, the drummer, were thinking like, no, he's not gonna want to use this stupid loop, and we're making fun of you. And then Brian's like, that's perfect. It's perfect. I'm like, oh.
That's a big I told you
amazing
so.
How the popular the lo-fi tricks are with the EQs and the loops and stuff like that. It kind of gives a really, I know it has a modern vibe, but it just gives a good feeling to the song. It's
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
So what happens if Lady Gaga comes up and says, "Let's do a duet"?
Oh, I don't know. Never say
Then
never.
we can't
I
sing
guess.
this song
Lee
anymore.
comes around.
You're like,
Or
what?
Katy Perry gets a little frisky.
Watch out.
The one question I wanted to ask in watching the video, well, actually there was two questions. Number one, were you actually wearing all of that stuff all at once, or were there different takes?
Oh, yeah, she was.
and number two, were you walking down as public of a street as it looks with people walking around?
Actually, yes, to both of those. It was so crazy because it was like at the very end of like our time living in LA, our lease was ending, everything was ending. We knew we were going to be driving across country, moving home. We were like, let's do something crazy. We came up with this idea. We told our friend Erin Brown, who's actually from Ohio as well, and she's done a couple videos with us before. We're like, we have this idea. What do you think? She's like, oh, we should totally do it on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm like, okay. And so, and I'm thinking, like, it's literally the day before we're going to film. It's so off the cuff. Like, just do it, just make it happen. And we had this idea of peeling away layers of clothes, like, one at a time. And as I walk down until the end, I'm just dressed normally, like, whatever. And that's what we ended up doing on Hollywood Boulevard. But the funny thing is I half of those clothes with me in LA because they were all clothes that I had used over the years. All the outfits were stuff I'd actually worn in Jaded era and like crazy things, you know, things I had stuffed away in a closet. My mom dug all of them out, FedExed them to me, 2 wigs.
I'm not proud to admit that we actually own those things.
Leather fringe wigs, you know, these crazy.
We didn't
shoes.
buy a single thing.
And she got them there, and I literally practiced putting all the layers on, and then.
Oh, I had like a cue card of like what
He
came
had-
off
he
when.
had
Oh,
He's standing there next
Nope,
to
not
the.
that one yet. Nope, wait.
I was literally shouting cues, walking backwards down Hollywood Boulevard, running into
Pat.
people with a boombox. Take off the jacket. Okay, it's just like
Jacket,
it was.
bracelets.
We wanted it to be a one-take shot, like
Right.
from the beginning by the Chinese Theater all the way down to the I think Hollywood and Vine or whatever, and it ended up there were so many. We did 3 full takes, like nonstop. We didn't stop no matter what happened, and
Some crazy stuff happened.
That'd
The
probably
crazy
be
stuff
pretty
happened.
cool to see.
so I mean it was a while to prep to get all those clothes on. The security guards were eyeing us down at the Kodak Theater. They're like, "What the hell are these guys doing?" They're like pushing us to leave, and it was insane.
I don't know how we pulled it together, but literally like the night before, I put something on Facebook like, anybody want to come down and help out with a video shoot? And these 2 girls from a couple hours away drove in. They were young, like teenagers, and
they're awesome.
they're like in like they're trying to train to be, you know, in cosmetology and stuff like that. So they came down and they like helped me get changed and did all that stuff with me the whole time. We're like
So all them people
Nicest
walking
people.
around were just
Just watching.
random people just happened to be there.
That's why we.
They weren't hired by you guys.
No, not at all.
No, it was so.
You couldn't
awesome.
hire those kind of people. It was just
No.
perfect.
That's my favorite thing is like the people's faces because like there's a
There
couple
were-
people like you know ladies giving me the eyes like this lady at the end puts her glasses like that like down and looks at me like what are you doing like some of these faces are just great.
Some drunk lady was like trying to take your clothes and run away with them.
I just think
That's gonna be another thing. You got somebody back there picking up the clothes for you.
Yeah, we had to have
we had
those
to have
guys
one
planted.
person on that. The lady
Yeah.
wanted them. I'm like no. She's like, can I have these? I'm like no. I
You
gotta
could
use
see
them
the
again.
one person walking behind her with a bag running in.
Yeah, that was our guy. That was our guy.
Yeah. Some people thought somebody was stealing the clothes though, like that was somebody taking them. I was like, no, he was working with us.
So we ended up putting. I think we spliced an edit of that video in out of the 3 takes because there were so many great moments in each one of them that we had to put it together in a splice. And like one, there was Bumblebee and
A stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper
Yeah,
dressed up.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
how perfect
That's
is that
it,
right
yeah.
now? That was fun.
Very random.
I thought
Yes.
I just thought that was something you guys did. I thought that
Well, I'm glad you got that.
It came out great. It really did.
Cool,
Thank you. It was fun.
It was a fun time. I don't
So
know.
so how did you sell the song to Ashley Simpson? How did that come about?
That was from the song Invisible was actually had already been, it was sort of circulating around Interscope, like they all knew the song because we had showcased there, and Ron Fair really liked it, and he was
So this
ahead
is
of-
when you were already out in L.A.
yeah, this had been, well, this was actually a long time ago. This was before Jaded Air broke up, and
Yeah.
we had showcased, and then we came back. We were still in Ohio when it happened, and then they just loved the song. They kept kind of asking for it for different people, and we're, you know, like unknown artists, and we're just like, no, we really don't want to do that because it was like our big, like we're like, oh, this is our best song ever. You know, at the time, like you always think your latest thing's your best thing
It's the
ever.
only song you're ever gonna write.
And so we didn't want to do it, but then finally they said Ashley Simpson, and we're like, yeah, we'll believe it when we see it. And then they're like, we'll fly you out and discuss it with you. And we're like, okay, I guess they're serious. And then we did. We just decided because that would be a good way to get it out there. And if people can hear the song, then that's
At
what
least people get to hear
yeah,
it. Yeah,
that's what we cared about. So
so
It
cool.
was good. I'm glad we did it.
yeah, I'm definitely glad. We could not have gone out to LA or done any of the stuff we've done without kind of like that first foot in the door kind of moment.
Yeah,
So
that really helped.
definitely.
Your version's on my iPod too. So.
Nice.
yeah, you showed her that night
Yeah,
at the
that
Musica.
night.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
So you want to play another song?
Yeah, why don't you guys pick another one now? Again, we have these 2 albums here. What? Pick
Or
one
they,
from one of them.
or they could sing one.
Which one do you want to do?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I saw Jeff carry a guitar.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get
I
him to
brought
play
was
one.
bringing it with me, you know. I don't ever leave home without a guitar.
You could. You want to do it?
It's up to you, whatever.
I'm down.
All right,
Let's do it.
All right, we'll play one.
All right.
Good. Let's
All
do
right.
that.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Grab that guitar.
Didn't really rehearse anything, but that's cool.
Oh, like you don't know our songs.
I don't actually.
He's never played them before in his life.
He's like, I don't remember any of them.
There's so much Vox around here. I love it.
Put you on the
What
spot.
kind of vibe do you want to? What
Yeah,
kind of
we
song?
do a lot of putting people on the spot. We had Eric Oswald in here.
I like.
Oh yeah.
And we put him on the spot to play the opening to Uncle Tom's Cabin, and he's like, really?
Don't have the right guitar to do this. I haven't done this in years.
He did it, though.
Pick.
It's awesome.
Got it. I swear I have a pick in every single one of my pairs of jeans. Every time I wash it's at least 5 of them come out of the
when
laundry.
they're cleaning.
Do you need
I
a
would
you should
stroller
have
chair or
vacuum
something?
bag.
Yeah, you want to sit in this
Yeah,
chair?
exactly.
Would it be more comfortable to sit in a chair like
Sit
this?
there, you want-
I could probably.
Let me move. Why don't you sit there?
Yeah, that'd be a good
If it's
chair
more
for you,
comfortable.
yeah.
Here,
Thank
don't
you.
lose your keys.
Oh yeah.
Don't lose your
before.
keys. Don't lose your.
So
Don't you move this way a little bit?
we're actually live on the air still.
Oh, right on.
And, we can go off the air to tune, or it sounds like it's in. Wow,
That works.
How about that?
What are we playing?
Do you want to do Easier to Walk Away?
Yeah.
It's easier.
Sure.
Do you remember it?
That one I do remember.
Watch now, he's gonna mess it up because he said
Great.
he remembered.
Pressure.
No.
Now, do you remember the words?
Yeah, right?
Yes, I think
Are
so.
we in a good spot here?
Yep, you'll be
Cool.
fine.
Cool.
Are you ready?
It started with a kiss. It ended with my fist. That's how it's always been. We never mean to fight. We're making up all night. Is this a sinking ship? Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go home tonight. It's easier to walk away and tell me you don't love me anymore. It's easier to walk away and tell me you don't love me anymore. I know you love me still. We all want love to be an endless fantasy, but this is real life. We lose the butterflies. It takes work to survive. So don't you give up on me. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go home tonight. It's easier to walk away and tell me you don't love me anymore. It's easier to walk away and tell me you don't love me anymore. I know you love me. I know you love me. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go. Home is where you make it. Home is where you take it with you. Home is where your heart is. I will always be a part of you. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go. Nobody has to go home tonight. It's easier to walk away and tell me
musicians playing live right on the air like that.
Yeah.
Warm up. That's great, guys.
Thank you.
I
Thank
really
you.
like that.
Thanks.
That was fun.
Awesome.
Good times.
All right.
I had to give Jeff a couple, like dirty looks. Like,
I know. There's at least 3 or 4 every song.
well, it's that kind of a song.
What was that
anyway,
timing?
so-
What was that harmony
What
level
were you
of? What was
doing?
that
No, it's
script
not. It's
about?
not really dirty look. It's just a question on my face.
Of
Like,
course.
What is he doing right now?
There's got to be times where the other guys don't know if you're giving them a look because you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
I think they just like zone us out. Now. They're just like,
You're just like, let them deal with it.
we don't pay
Let
attention.
them finish. Yeah.
So, when was that song written? Is that a current piece or?
Yeah, that would be on the new album as well. When did we finish that one? That was...
That's a weird thing. That song, we kind of like started it a lot. When we first moved to LA, we started that song. And then we never finished it because I'm like, this doesn't fit with what we do. Like, what is this song? And
Kira, she won't admit it, but she has a hard time finishing songs. She'll start a billion
I
songs,
really do. have
but
a-
she will never sit down
I'm
and finish
so
one.
picky too. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to finish it unless it's something I really love. Like, I'm like, I know a lot of people are the opposite way. They just want to write as much as they can. And then they go, oh, I like these songs. You know, I pick out these ones that I love. But for us, it's like, I don't know. I'm just really, I have a big filter, and I
Yeah.
won't finish it if I don't love
So
it.
how do you guys like work with a producer? Like what? I mean, Jeff, do you finish them off, or do you finish them off together and then bring them to a producer, or does the producer actually get into the songwriting with you guys? I mean, how involved? Is
It's a little different every time, but lately it's been Kira and I work on the music. I kind of give her like some room to do the lyrics. I feel like that's kind of her forte, but like we'll work on them together sometimes. She'll get the chunk of them started and then come back to me and we'll tweak them and stuff like that.
Like,
But
it's weird. I like, I'll write a lot on the piano now, which I didn't have before like that. And, so I do a lot of that. But like, or he'll come up with like a riff, or we'll have a song, but we usually finish them together.
we try to finish them before going into the studio.
If I do,
As a
like-
rule of thumb.
yeah, we try to have
try.
them done, and that's kind of how the album came together. All the songs are pretty much there. We co-wrote one on the record with our drummer, and then we co-wrote one with someone in Nashville, another writer. So, but other than that, the producer Brian is really cool about just saying, like if he doesn't like something, he'll be like, go rewrite this part, and we'll go do that. But that doesn't. He's usually pretty. He's not going to record it if he doesn't love it either.
right,
So
right. Wow.
it works out. Yeah,
So far.
keeps us
Cool. So what's the plan for you guys now? Like, what are we looking for in the future? We have a release coming up, and then you looking to tour or play in a region, or like what's the plan?
Yeah, right. I think right now, we just actually went up to New York, met everybody at the label. Like, we hadn't met everyone yet, and played a show up there. And then we are heading to South by Southwest in March, so that's really soon. And then hopefully after that, touring more, playing more, a lot more live.
Yeah.
And definitely hitting up a lot of radio stations and, seeing if we can get some traction. I know the video's been kind of doing okay. It's on Music Choice right now. They're adding it to different things.
Very cool.
So yeah, I think that's the plan.
What song's the video?
Being me.
Being me.
Yeah,
Oh,
the,
very good.
the stripping off my clothes on Hollywood Boulevard video.
Yeah.
Oh.
How many times did you get somebody yelling, "Don't stop! Keep going! Keep going!"
Well, when you mentioned that at the music, there were a bunch of guys whose eyes went, really?
It's funny because like we just played the high school rock up like as a kind of like as a reunion band kind of thing, and they pulled the screen down and they played the video for all these kids, and I'm just like wondering what's the reaction going to be, and I'm sitting out there watching and like there's certain parts of the video the guys are like yeah, and then they're like, and then like at the end where I take off like the purple pants, I have the black ones underneath, they're like no! They're like not cool.
That was pretty funny.
No.
I mean, for those Freddie hasn't seen the video yet, but for those who haven't seen it, she literally takes off fake nails, and she wipes a tattoo off, and she's pulling eyebrows off, and it's
Eyelashes or eyebrows, either one.
That would have been an interesting
That
video.
would've been-
No eyebrows by the
whatever.
end.
But I just
No, it's cool. And the worst thing was just being barefoot on the ground. Like by the
Oh,
end
that
of the
was
day,
kinda gross.
like my feet. Oh, it was so nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Never again.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Hollywood Boulevard or Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty gross. It was, I had makeup wipes on the bottom of my feet at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, and they're all black. It was so gross. But yeah.
Sweet.
Cool. So you guys, with a lot of the social sites and that, do you guys notice like a lot of the old band fans overlapping into this, or are you actually getting a new fan base?
It seems to be mostly new. I mean, we do on occasion at Musica. This past time we played here in Akron, there was a few people that came up and they'll tell us that I remember you from Jaded Era, and we've been fans ever since. And it's pretty cool to hear those fans kind of come out of the woodwork and be like, I remember.
Yeah, that's always fun. Somebody who's like been following you, and you're like, whoa, you were at that show, and they remember the exact show they were at. And you're
I
like,
feel bad because we've been playing for so many years. It's like you really have to have put forth an effort to follow us that long. It's like, I'm sorry.
Giving them money.
Here, come back again. Don't give up on us.
Yes.
No, but it was weird when we first started this band. It was very much really hard, even for our families, to like get used to like, oh, you're not Jaded Era anymore. Oh, like it was just, it was a big deal because everyone was so used to it.
It actually took me a while to start saying Strange Familiar.
Isn't it
I
crazy?
kept Jaded Era. Yeah, oh wait, no.
Like no, it was funny. And yeah, but when we first started having fans of the Strange Familiar, that's like, and then we started like after, I think it took a couple years to really feel like we had some actual fans of this new thing we were doing, which was
helped
really
with
cool.
ABC Family picked up a single of ours for
I was just gonna ask about that.
Secret Life of the American Teenager. I'm sure you guys watch it all the time.
Oh, absolutely. It's my
DVR.
favorite show.
It was all the DVDs.
At least the beginning portion.
But our song Courage Is was this really simple piano ballad that we almost never recorded because it was so simple and we didn't think anything of it. But it ended up being used in the trailers for that show. And oh my gosh, the response was just so overwhelming. I couldn't believe what was happening when it was happening. Like the power of television and music together, it was really cool. It was the first time we've ever experienced something like that.
Yeah, that was when we first moved out to LA, and then we didn't understand how to deal with the fans and how to deal with like talking to people. Like we were like, what do? We have to like rein this in somehow and like get people to come back to one place. But it was crazy how many people found that song, and it only played like 30 seconds in the little trailers and stuff, and they found it.
Well, it wasn't used as the entrance theme or anything.
They continued to use it.
But it was never
in little
actually
short
the theme
spurts,
song. No.
But it wasn't technically the theme song of the show. But people thought it was.
Wrong.
I don't know.
I thought it was.
See, somebody told me that it was. I don't remember who it was.
Well, you can say it was.
Practically was.
So you guys write a lot of different stuff. So with this project, the band, how eclectic would you describe it to people out there that haven't heard it yet? Like, for example, from between the two albums, how diverse of a wide range are you guys writing in and performing? Like, what are we to expect at a show?
I think we're just finally now starting to really hone in on what this sound is.
16 years later.
Yeah. And
So do you guys like write from the heart? You're not necessarily writing for a particular listening audience. And
that's
great.
Yeah.
That's what it's turned into.
Integrity based.
Yeah,
definitely.
because in Jaded Era, that was the main problem we had was we rocked really hard, but then we had these songs that like we felt embarrassed to play
Because they didn't fit with anything else. Like they were like the little the ballad songs. Like what?
Yeah.
How do you fit that into a set list?
Did any of those ballads come into Strange Familiar?
At first, the very beginning
We
when
would
we
play 'em
first started
out,
playing,
yeah.
we'd play them live and stuff. Like just because we didn't have enough songs, we were like, oh, we have to fill
Yeah.
them with Jaded Era songs. And but now no. Like I think the only song that actually carried over was actually one of the more rocking ones, but it was sort of like this anthem-y kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, Never Be.
Oh
It was
yeah,
on
yeah.
the first record, but it's like the last song. It doesn't necessarily fit exactly, but it worked out. We kept it anyway. We just liked the song. But yeah, and I guess like now I think we're starting to really solidify the sound, and it's been great like having the band play on this whole record. Like our bass player, our drummer. It's just nice because at first we were working with like studio musicians, and it kind of had different flavor every time, and now it's like it's our own thing, and I guess the sound is like, I don't even know, what do you describe it as? People ask us that
Oh,
sometimes.
that's the
I'm
worst
like,
question
I
ever
don't
asked a
know.
band.
We need to figure that out.
You know
Like,
what?
are
Why
we?
don't we just play another one?
All right, there we
Let's
go. That's a
we'll,
perfect answer.
Let's pick one. We'll spin one from one of the discs here. One of
All
the
right.
studio production.
Do you have Courage Is on there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's on that one.
Courageous is on there.
Let's play that one.
It's
Okay.
I think track
If
3.
you don't mind.
No, that's
no,
great.
that's a good idea.
And it's I'm sorry, it's track 1, huh?
Track 3 on the
3.
Gravity.
Courage is. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go with Courage is.
I mean, unless you want to play.
Take all my vicious words and turn them into something good. Take all my preconceptions and let the truth be understood. Take all my prized possessions, leave only what I need. Take all my pieces of doubt and let me be what's underneath. Courage is when you're afraid, but you keep on moving anyway. Courage is when you're in pain, but you keep on living anyway. We all have excuses why living in fear, something in us dies. Like a bird with broken wings, it's not how high he flies, but the song he sings. Courage is when you're afraid, but you keep on moving anyway. Courage is when you're in pain, but you keep on living anyway. You keep on living anyway. It's not how many times you've been knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. Courage is when you've lost your way, but you find your strength anyway. Courage is when you're afraid. Courage is when it all seems great. Courage is when you make a change and you keep on living anyway. You keep on moving anyway. Keep on giving anyway. Keep on loving anyway.
I did it. All right, and we're back. As I just heard a police siren go by.
Yeah.
They'll never find me here, I promise.
So that was Courage is. Well, as Jeff was saying, he thought it was a simple song. You want to tell us a little more about that? Is there any more to tell? Or
It was just this little piano ballad thing that it was just a piano riff and like a couple verses, and you had it on a voice recorder or a tape machine, and
I just kind of sat down and it was.
it just came out of nowhere, like all in one take. It was one of those special songs that just happened all in one
That
sitting.
never ever happens. Like it's just like usually I'm like oh like trying to piece it together, figure it out, and the song's kind of like a puzzle. But this one it just sort of worked out, and then I had it, and I remember I was like, listen to this. What do you think? And you were like, oh. You're like, that's pretty good. Let's do this.
Good.
Let's do that. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything with it. I like it the way it is. I was like,
Yes, dear.
it really, like, we had all these songs. We had all these, like, hard rocking things and weird, really, like, Queen kind of tons of harmonies, weird stuff going on at the same time. And then we had that song and, like, totally didn't work with any of those. But when we showed all our songs to Brian Malouf for the first time, like, we showed him a bunch of things. He's like, okay, cool. And then at the end, I was like, oh, can you listen to just like one more? I'm like, listen to this one. It was that one. It was like the last one on the record and or on our little demo. And he was like, okay. And then he listened to it and he's like now, a few years later, he goes, gosh, he's like, when I heard that song, he's like, okay, that's what we have to do. He's like, until then, he's like, I wasn't so sure about you guys. Or something. He's like, if it wasn't for that song, he's like, you know, he's funny. So
So yes, dear was right.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes, dear was right.
Now she can kind of hold that one on you. See what I did?
No, he was supportive. He liked it too. You liked it too. We just didn't know how it worked with things. It's a mystery sometimes. I think you don't know yourself sometimes what you're trying to do when you're trying to do it.
Yeah.
It's like the song, Courage Is. Just put it out there. It takes courage to put it out there, right?
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cheesy line. There.
I liked
Got my
it.
cheesy
I
line
liked
in
it.
there.
Yeah, the fan response we got from that song was just intense. It was we would get like just loads of emails every week just about people telling us like their stories of courage and things they've gone through and how the song helped them to get through it. And like we saved them all. I printed them all out and just the file. It's like this big. It's just if you ever have a bad
his hands
day.
about a foot deep.
If you ever have a bad day, just we go to that and just start reading those things. It's just like
actually
okay,
pretty cool.
it's not so bad. You know.
That's like really like honestly like that's the best thing. I don't even know where the music's gonna take us, but if we can get songs out there and they can, you know, help other people out, that's like honestly that's the best reward.
That's
for me.
cool.
That's really what I want to do, and it's like it's weird even to this day. Like that song's not been on air for a long time, but people will write in like randomly, like, you know, I just wanted to let you know 3 years ago I was having a really rough time in my life, but I heard that song and it really helped me, and that's just like, oh, this is so cool. I just love that. I hope we can do more songs like that. That's what we're trying to do.
Sounds cool.
Cool. Let's listen to another one. What else? What's something else you guys would like to have everyone hear?
What do we got? What do we got, Jeff?
Redemption would be good. That was just used on TV.
That was. That's
Is that
true.
the one you were talking about when we were at the Musica that you said there was going to be another one, or?
Yeah, that's probably the one that was on. It was another ABC Family show, but not the same. Not the same one. It was on. Oh gosh, what's it called? I'm blanking.
Switched at birth.
Switched at birth. I was thinking like, yeah, it's the one with the two girls and the one girl's deaf, and then they were switched at birth, and it's a pretty dramatic show.
Yeah, the song fit really well with it because
Yeah.
the lyrics fit with it. But this is a song we wrote with our drummer too, Nicholas.
Oh yeah, props to Nick.
Is it on
Nick,
there,
I hope
Fred?
you listen to this. We gave you props, dude.
Yes.
So this will be on the new release. Then.
Yes.
All right. Let's check it out. Redemption.
Cool.
Sweet.
The night is slowly closing, but my eyes are slowly opened, and I see that somewhere in you there is a good heart, and there is a good soul. Forever down in redemption.
Alrighty, and we are back, and that is Redemption. And I had just mentioned during the song, and Freddie started laughing, so I'm going to say it. This is the first interview we've done in the beautiful DeMarco studios with new paintings on the wall.
I feel so inspired.
As a matter of fact, when Matt and I got here, we were sitting here just chatting before you guys showed up, and Freddie's like, you know what? I paid for these paintings. I think I'm going to hang them. And here he comes up the stairs with these paintings.
Well, truth have it is, we're waiting on two musicians who knew you guys would be on time. To your credit, you were on time. So I figured I'll just redecorate. I'm waiting 3 or 4 hours for you to show up. I didn't know you guys would be not. No, actually, as some listening audience may know from the other shows, I work for Chord USA, and we do, I do demos and stuff for amp companies. And my boss, he had lost his job there, my initial boss, and he's an artist, so he got back into art. He lives in the Northwest region, and he does art and stuff, and he has a whole series. His name's Tom Norton. You could look up Tom Norton, on Facebook and all that. And he has a whole series called Homeless Man.
Oh, wow.
And with the economy and all that, this guy was actually, even though he lost his job, he would actually cook spaghetti and take full bowls of spaghetti to the people in Seattle under the bridge and stuff like
that's
that.
amazing.
Yeah, real
Wow.
passionate guy. And he's also a very deranged, whacked musician, and you can tell by the artwork over there.
Yeah.
I love them. They're really cool
kind of a-
paintings, too.
I was waiting for him to say when he took the spaghetti down, he's got art, he's just throwing in spaghetti at the wall.
Yes,
Abstract. Abstract.
No, that's what our economy's doing. Our government. No, I'm sorry.
One of these days, I'll try to get a picture of that picture and put it on the website so people can see what it looks
Yeah,
like.
we'll do that. So, when these obscure pitch photo or prints show up, you'll know it's from this. Anyways, back to the session. I was really impressed with that song. To be honest with you, I kind of tuned into only sections, a part of it. And one thing I noticed is that in your music, like the focal point being the vocals, but it also seems that like the music complements that. You got a lot of really cool, for the musicians out there, writing songs and that. Something to take back from this band is your rhythmic figures. You do interesting things underneath the vocals, so it's not just the basic campy thing going on, but at the same time, so I could always follow the storyline, but the other cool thing is it makes it very interesting, and you play off that as well, I'm sure it's, you play off the rhythm, and the rhythm's complementing. I mean, it's really, really nice, thought out stuff with integrity, and it feels great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Coming from you, that means a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Just a dude up here in a house, pretending I have a studio down the road. No, I'm kidding.
He's also a chef, if you ask him. He made
Really?
enchiladas.
Yeah, did you notice when you came in, it
Smelled
smells
like fajitas.
Oh,
I
nice.
did notice that.
Very cool.
He was making me, he's a chef as well. He's making stuffed peppers tonight.
See, making food's a lot like writing a song.
I
It
agree.
is. It's
If
awesome.
If I
love
get writer's
cooking.
block, I go to the kitchen.
There you go, right. Because you're actually creating something, and one way or another, you're going to digest it. Whether it's a song or a...
I gotta go
I
eat
love
something.
that.
That guy here is listening to my food. I'm coming another.
Right away home. I just...
I just got another creative idea. This might be kind of dumb. Let's start a new restaurant.
Yeah.
Call it Writer's Block.
Done. There it is.
There goes the idea. You gave it up.
The only
Man.
problem, you'll have all chefs and nobody buying and eating.
Yeah.
Everybody's served on a cutting block.
But speaking of that, writer's block, like, do you have, because we do have a lot of listeners out there that are musicians, and do you guys ever have, like, a writer's block? And if you do, is there anything you do to get over it, or you just let time pass and things work out, or is there any...
She's got
Any
a big
formula
smile.
to it? Yeah, I mean, 'cause I get that all the time. I'm like, up here doing stuff, and I end up practicing more than writing because I usually have writer's block 24/7.
I totally
I
hear
agree.
that. I was just waiting for you to.
I'll let
Say
you start
something
this
about
one. Let me hear what you would say first.
Well,
It's like the dating game.
it is. No, I am the worst with that stuff. Like, because I I don't know, I can go through big chunks of time and just not write anything and feel like, what do I have to say? And then I'll like, and he'll always encourage me, Jeff will always be like, you need to go write this down. You need to go put this into a song. I don't want to put it into a song. And like,
I think it's because a lot of musicians have a fear of writing something bad. And if you just got to throw that away, because like you're gonna write bad songs. It's just the way it is. Like I'm a firm believer of write 100 songs and find 2 that are great. She'll say, let me just write 5 songs and maybe 4 of them are what I want.
Right.
So she'll take her time. We kind of balance each other out in that way. I mean, in both ways are fine. It's just one you do have a lot of time passing between. I think you went a few months before finishing one song. It was
like I have to get kind of like I have to get somebody nagging me eventually. It's either you or like my mom's like, you need to write a new song. You need to write songs. And I'm like, oh, I do. And but yeah, like recently I think I've been trying more to. It's totally kind of evolved. Usually it's music first, and that's kind of why I have a problem. I'll have all this music, all these musical ideas, and then I'm like, I don't know what I want to say. What do I want to say? And then. So recently, like the last couple songs, one on the record, I just sat down and wrote all the lyrics first, like, and just wrote like as a poem, just getting out my thoughts and stuff, and then and came in and it was so much easier to write like that. I need to do that more.
So how much of the actual poem changed when you put music to it? Did you find that you had to knock things out, trim fat off it, and
a little bit, not much, just a couple lines. It was pretty
Very
much
cool.
right there. I like doing that, and I realized that that's just easier for me. I'm so bad with the words take forever for me because I'm so picky about them, and like I'm
Which
so
you should
picky
be. I
about
mean,
what I'm saying.
So I think there's something to be said for that too. You don't want to just not put something that's well thought out, but at the same time, it's a good balance. You want to do that, but then you also some of the best stuff is stuff that just comes out unedited,
So I'm trying to do that now. Hopefully that helps me go a little quicker on the writing front. And when we went to Nashville, like, and did our first, like, we never had done any co-writing with anybody else before, and we were like, you know, let's just jump in, let's do a bunch. And so we booked a bunch of co-writes with a bunch of different people, and it was amazing. Like, 1 week, and we had like 7 songs. I'm like, what? You can write like this? You can write this many songs in a week? But
you know what's really refreshing to me is how humble you guys are. I mean, you have a hell of a lot of talent, which is, you know, evident from the live performance here tonight. You guys accomplished quite a bit. You've taken, you know, risks and stuff like that, but you're very humble people, and that's restores faith in mankind in terms of music for me.
Well, thanks.
Thank
Very
you.
nice,
Thank you.
I give
to
credit
see
to our parents for that. They've just
Very
been
good.
very supportive, and they still are today. They're still coming to our shows. As a matter of fact, it's kind of embarrassing, but they drove us to our last gig, so whatever.
Hey, get in the minivan and go to the show.
There
you go.
Back like we started in the sixth grade.
Exactly.
We're
It never
back there.
changed.
Back to your roots. Huh?
Gotta stay grounded.
So, who would you say some of your influences are throughout the years?
Well,
like if you write, do you ever think? Because I know I do that. You know, if I'm jamming and I don't have a writer's block, sometimes I'll actually put something on and think of how that person would write it, and I use that as an inspiration. But it kind of strikes me. Like, what would be your influences?
I think like we both sort of like I think I talked about it in Being Me. Grew up listening to Vedder, like Eddie Vedder. Pearl Jam
Right on.
was a big deal for me as a kid, like since the age of 9.
Oh.
We went to a bunch of Pearl Jam concerts too and stuff. It was just like I just loved. For me, I think the thing I loved about Pearl Jam was the lyrics. Like I really focused on like everything that was being said, and I think I'm one of those people that with a song I memorize the lyrics right away. Like I want to know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was always really important. My parents had the Kinks playing a lot when I was growing up. The Rolling Stones, stuff like that. Mostly, and then as I grew up with like a younger teenager, like No Doubt and like Alanis Morissette, and I started realizing, you know, like the Pretenders and like more female artists, I started realizing what they were doing. And
But the common thread with everything you mentioned is our storylines. Those are very intriguing
Yeah.
stories. And
Yeah.
so Jeff, like in terms of music, where do you guys, musicians and stuff? I mean, in terms of playing, you know, and riffing and riffage and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, everything she said I've been big fans of too, and I mean the first record I ever, when I started playing, I think we were 12 or 13, like I learned the entire Green Day Dookie record from beginning to end, and they were all just bar chords.
Yeah,
but I felt amazing because I could play them. You know,
right.
So that was like my big.
It kept you going.
That was
It
the
gave
big
you
moment
confidence.
shining. Yeah. But after that, she actually kind of turned me on to Pearl Jam more than I was into them, which is kind of funny being a girl coming from the other way around. But anyway, yeah. So like McCready's, I love the way he plays. It's kind of got a little twang to it. It's like it's almost not country, but it's got a little bit in there, and really bluesy, really cool kind of stuff. It's inspiring to me. And lately, I think like when we write, it's you kind of can't help it, but when you're listening to the radio and everything just kind of soaks in, you want to try stuff, like you were saying, like the way that things, like people are doing it. So like it's really easy to do that when you're working in the computer. Like, oh, you want to put a beat to this that sounds just like One Republic or something, and then you'll like end up realizing, wait, I just did something they would do. Okay, trash it, start over. But then you feel good about it because you're used to it.
It's kind of nice to experiment with stuff like that, for sure. And then like, but usually I think we realize the songs that we keep just really don't necessarily have any reference to anything else. It's just what we're doing. It's just what comes out. And I think, I don't know, but everything does sort of find a way of like subtly seeping in, like, you know, and like back in the day, like as Jaded Era, like we used to love the band The Darkness, and like we were so obsessed with them. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No, sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're amazing.
I didn't listen to anything else for like a year.
I love them so much. And I just saw an ad for like during the Super Bowl, like they had the guy from The Darkness came on and they played, I believe, in a thing called Love, and I was just like, dude, it's The Darkness, and nobody else knew who it was. I'm like, it's awesome. And then but like we had like that's where like a little part of Never Be, I think, was influenced. I do this really high thing with my voice, like ooh, like really way up there, and I was like, if that guy can get way up there, he sings higher than I could. But like little things like that was like one example, and then I don't know, it seeps in there, cool. I guess. Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
Got it. That's
it.
about it.
Yeah, let's say goodbye. Well, let's end it. We'll leave them with another song. Why don't you guys pick one more?
I do got to thank Balls Energy, which I forgot mine tonight.
I'm drinking mine now.
I'm gonna have to
Everyone
get.
thinks it smells good.
I'm gonna have to get some for Kira and Jeff so that they can try it.
We're all out of balls. We need some balls.
We got to thank SIT Strings, which I don't play any kind of guitar, so I don't have any SIT strings, but Freddie does. And thecrashsite.net, who saved our laptop.
Thank you.
Nice.
So
thank you.
Check out all the sponsors, and we'll say goodbye. I'm Anthony.
Wait, how do you before you say goodbye? How does anybody find your CDs and stuff?
Good call. We our single Being Me is on iTunes right now. The album will be out March 27th. We'll probably have a show at Musica at that point. So keep an eye out. We're on Facebook.
/ The Strange Familiar.
Yep, facebook.com/thestrange familiar. That's usually where we interact with fans most. And then our new website is being finished as we speak by Jeff Andrea, the guitarist of the band. When he gets home, he's going to finish it.
I'll be up all night working on that.
Can you help me out?
Sure, man.
So that right now there's a placeholder up there, but if you visit, it has some information, strangefamiliar.com.
I was there.
And is that pretty much everything?
That sounds good to me.
Cool.
Great. It's a real pleasure having you guys here.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so
It's been
much.
fun.
And you can check us out at unheardscene.com. You might have found this on YouTube. We have the Unheard Scene channel, and we have facebook.com/unheardscene. And we'll just go ahead and say bye. I'm Anthony. That's
I'm
Matt, and
I'm Freddie, and I'd like to get one more title from you guys. Let's leave them with a song.
Sweet. Shelter? Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah. What's it called?
This song's called Shelter.
All right, here you
From
go.
the-
So we're going to leave you guys with Shelter.
Yeah.
And signing off.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
There is a sadness in my bones, and I cannot let go of the sadness. There is a silence, and it's leading me into madness. You keep me from sinking down to low. I'm paralyzed, and I need you close to shelter me from the cold, starless night. Shelter me from the ghosts in my mind. Feel alive when I am in your arms. You set me free. Shelter me.